Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime Local News. The Saskatchewan Health Authority is informing people in Lloydminster of potential COVID exposure. A person who tested positive for COVID was in Nelson Lumber on October 1st and 2nd and the Home Depot on October 5th. The limit on gathering sizes in the province is also being reduced to 15 people. The province is reporting 34 new cases of COVID-19. 9 are in the North Central Zone, 8 in Saskatoon, 11 in Regina, and 4 in the Central West area. 2 cases have locations pending. 238 cases are considered active, 8 of those in the zone that includes Lloydminster and North Battleford. 9 people are in hospital, with 2 of those in intensive care. Incumbent City Councilman Michael Dialchuk is putting his name in for re-election. Dialchuk says his reasons for running for council again was to see projects that have been started get to the end. He has been very active working with both sides of the border, focusing on the advancement of economic development and growth, as well as getting seniors into Pioneer Lodge, as it continues to be an issue in the community.
I really believe that's a growing demand in our community, and an area that I would like to see continue to grow and find ways where we can probably have a bit more cooperation between the Saskatchewan and Alberta governments around seeing the seniors' residences as a priority for our community.
With his history working for the school division, including the expansion from an economic and human resources standpoint, he believes those qualities can continue to help contribute again in the community.
I think I've contributed. I think I've been an asset on a number of fronts relative to where the city is going, and I think from what I've heard from people said that I've made a difference, and based on that I think that I'm experienced, I've done it, have other skills that support that piece, and continue to contribute very actively throughout my term.
The municipal election is scheduled for November 9th. Cheryl Ross is putting her name as one of the 18 candidates vying for a seat on Lloydminster City Council. Ross, who has ran for City Council before, says she wants to be a part of the deciding factor to ultimately help the community, and from sitting in on several City Council meetings, believes she can make a difference.
Downtown Lloydminster has always been very near and dear and close to my heart, and I know historically there have been countless conversations regarding what can we do better, what can we do differently, and now with the strategic plan aligned with Downtown Area Revitalization Project, let's move it forward.
Ross has always put the needs of the community first in her campaign.
Being a 25-year resident is that my campaign has never been about me. It has always been about community, residents, businesses, large and small, and I just want to see us rise above and beyond what's happening.
The all-candidate forum will take place virtually on October 19th. Our Shelby Clark spoke with the Lloydminster RCMP about the guidelines residents should follow for Halloween this year and how to stay safe during the pandemic.
I'm speaking with Constable Flynn with the Lloydminster RCMP. How are you today?
Very good, thanks.
Wanted to talk about Halloween coming up and how Lloydminster will be following Saskatchewan government's guidelines for people to follow this year. Can you explain each guideline?
Well, there's no restrictions other than what's laid out with the Saskatchewan health authorities or the provincial guidelines. So Halloween is a go as far as the city of Lloydminster is concerned. We expect it is going to be busy, and there will be some people who are not willing to participate due to the unforeseen, issues around COVID and stuff this year. So we want people to be respectful and aware of that some households may not be willing to participate this year.
And how exactly will the RCMP make sure residents are following these rules on Halloween?
Well, the RCMP will be out like any other year with the support of the bylaw officers as well. So you will see there'll be no less resources than usual. And in regards to following the guidelines, we just recommend that people yeah, follow along with the guidelines outlined in the provincial Saskatchewan health authorities. So maintaining 2 meters apart from each other. If you're traveling with a group, remain with that group, your family members or whoever that might be. And just homeowners sanitizing things and continuous hand washing, stuff like that. So.
What else can residents do to stay safe during Halloween who aren't trick-or-treating or passing out candy this year?
So staying safe, just if you're not participating, you can ensure that your lights are off on your front deck. Having your lights on inside is still recommended, obviously, but and people should be vigilant about that. If a household does not have decorations, does not have lights on their front step, there's no sign of that they're wanting to participate in Halloween this year. Just people who are out and about for Halloween, just be respectful of that. And then homeowners just securing things as normal. So making sure cars are locked and sheds, things of value are put away in locked sheds or locked garages, stuff like that. So.
And if residents see any suspicious activity, what should they do?
We encourage the community members of Lloydminster, if they do witness any suspicious activity, you can report to the RCMP of Lloydminster, just at 780-808-8300. They can call and just report that activity.
Is there anything else you want to add for residents to know about?
Just for safety, like it is something that the kids are going to want to, they want to be back to normal and they want to embark on Halloween as normal. So just for parents to be supervising their children. So any young children should be with supervised adult or have the supervision of adults. And then wearing bright colors, painting faces versus wearing masks, remaining on sidewalks and stuff too. So utilizing crosswalks and having your kids looking both ways. Obviously, drivers should remain more vigilant and aware that pedestrian traffic will be most likely heavier than normal. So just being vigilant of that and avoiding like the dark areas of the community as well. So no dark alleys, dark parking lots, like stay in those well-lit areas and look for those homes that have, front porch lights on and the Halloween decorations who are wanting to participate in Halloween this year.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Constable Flynn.
Yes, thank you.
Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather forecast.
Thanks very much, Jasmine. Looking at temperatures, we're starting to get fairly cooler, and of course we did see that over the weekend. We saw Sunday being a very cool day. Saturday was a little bit warmer, and that was probably the last time we're going to see double digits for a very, very long time. As we take a look right now, 5 degrees with some cloud coverage continuing on. The wind's picking up a little bit and coming in from northwest at 15 to 20 kilometers an hour, so that's going to drop down a little bit, making it feel more like 3 or 4, or even maybe up to the minus categories there. But as we look at some other temperatures in the area, same results. 7 degrees out in Vegreville, Vermilion, 6 in Edmonton, Bonnyville, and Cold Lake as well. 8 degrees in both Provost and in Macklin. And then we see 6 degrees in Maidstone with 7 in North Battleford and Meadow Lake as well. And up north, fairly cool at 2 degrees in Isle La Crosse. So here's a look at the satellite radar map right now. It's good. We have a chance of getting some snow in some areas. Mostly it's going to be the southern areas of Alberta and Saskatchewan. We could see that possibly in areas like Camrose getting that rain-snow mix there as well. It's making its way. It could make its way into the southern Saskatchewan areas, but we're not going to be getting any of that anytime soon. It'll probably be more so into Friday, Saturday, where we could see some of that rain-snow mix. Now, here's what we could see for the school day forecast tomorrow. Fairly chilly to start the day off at 8 a.m. at -4, then -1 degree at recess time around the 10 a.m. mark, and then lunchtime at 1, and then a high of 3 degrees tomorrow by the time school's out for the day. Now, here's a look at North Battleford overnight. Taking a look, -6 degrees overnight with some cloud coverage, and then 5 into tomorrow with mostly sun and a few clouds there. Then we go into Cold Lake, -5 overnight. little bit clearer skies, and then 4 degrees tomorrow with the daytime high there. And then for us here in Lloydminster, we're going to see a -5 overnight with cloud coverage, and then 4 degrees tomorrow with mostly sun and clouds throughout the day tomorrow. So here's what we could see over the next couple of days. We are starting to get fairly cooler in the mornings, as we see with those minuses as our daytime lows there. So -4 to start the day on Thursday, going into 3 on Thursday there, and then 2 degrees on Friday with a low of -5. The wind's going to pick up a little bit more throughout the days, hence why the wind chill is making it going to feel like a lot colder than it actually is. That's a first look at your weather forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. As more focus is placed on mental health, the Do More Ag Foundation is continuing to bring that awareness to agriculture, accepting applications for its community fund. Eric Bay has more.
The Community Fund for Mental Health looks to partner with people in rural communities who are willing to organize training sessions tailored towards mental health in an ag setting.
This is what Canadian producers are asking for, is to have this training and to have it delivered and available in multiple different modalities, because they're just very, very busy. Their schedules are sporadic. So, there's that one piece of it.
The courses destigmatize mental health in an industry that can be a lonely one, while giving people the tools to see potential signs if someone is experiencing struggles with mental health.
To understand within themselves or within a loved one some of the signs and symptoms of mental illness, and the tools and skills to open that conversation and understand who and where to direct for resources, especially when most of us are living rurally and don't have immediate in-person access.
Through multiple awareness campaigns, the Do More Ag Foundation has seen more calls for its services as it enters its 3rd year as a group.
We are have been growing for the last 3 years at such a rapid pace. The demand is there that we are still working very hard to serve, which we feel we haven't even tipped the iceberg on. And then to add COVID on top of that, I think it definitely compounded things that were already, snowballing pre-COVID as well.
Applications can be filled out at the Do More Ag website before locations are awarded in early January. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
Now we'll take a look at your ag prices. This past weekend was a busy one in sports. NHL free agency continued with multiple big names signing, and the LA Lakers won their 17th NBA championship in franchise history. Evan Kenny and Eric Bay break it down.
Well, lots of sports news to talk about over this past weekend. Just starting things off, the LA Lakers won the NBA championship, their 17th in franchise history. Joining me to break this down is our Eric Bay. Eric, thanks for joining me.
No problem.
Now, with this, LeBron James won his 4th career NBA championship, and that sort of brings up the question, who is the GOAT, the greatest of all time when it comes to the NBA? And that really just narrows it down to LeBron James on one hand and Michael Jordan on the other. Now, Eric, I know you're going with Michael Jordan. Why don't you just give us some details why?
Yeah, when you look at just finals records alone, obviously 4-6 is not as good as 6-0, but I think it goes deeper than that. Obviously, LeBron, he left Cleveland the first time to form a super team, him, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, and he promised us not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 championships. Well, they still only won 2, and when you look at what a guy like Michael Jordan did, yes, he had Scottie Pippen and to an extent Dennis Rodman, but I don't think Dennis Rodman is, again, the same caliber of players that LeBron James did have with some of those other teams. You look at what Michael Jordan was able to do in those 6 years. He averaged more than 10 points more than the next highest scorer, and that was Scottie Pippen. So I think just when you look again at what Michael Jordan was able to do despite the hiatus he took to play baseball and did it basically not by himself but with less help than a guy like LeBron did, I think it's still got to be Michael Jordan.
See, while I like some of your points there, I disagree on some. I still think that Chicago Bulls team was a super team. You look at Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, each of them were unbelievable, some of the best players in their own respects. And then if we just look at LeBron versus MJ, I think LeBron uses those players better. Michael Jordan is a great one-on-one player, whether that's on offense or his unbelievable defense. But I think LeBron is just better at using other players and buying into a team system more, which obviously a team is what wins a championship, not just one player. Now, if we look, LeBron has won 4 championships with 4 separate teams as well. He's won, or rather with 3 separate teams, but he's won 4 different MVPs, finals MVPs, the only player to do that with that many teams as well. He's played the most playoff games in history. Now, while regular season stats are great, playoffs are what everybody strives for. It's that only chance to win that championship. And for LeBron to be leading those categories in the playoffs is something huge. He trails only Magic Johnson for the most triple-doubles in playoffs history. So obviously it's a tough conversation. Each player sort of has their own thing there. Personally, I like LeBron, and he seems to just be proving it year after year and doesn't need to take a break to stay good. Now moving on, some other big news over the weekend is the NHL free agency. A couple of huge names being signed, starting it off with Alex Pietrangelo. Now, Eric, he was the #1 guy when we looked at free agency off the bat. He signs with Vegas for 7 years, $61.6 million overall. That's an $8.8 million cap hit. What do you see in Pietrangelo, and why do you think Vegas paid this money for him?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously he was the big fish, as you mentioned. I think it's definitely worth it in the long run. You look at what they did give him, that's what, $8.8 million on that average. I don't think it's too much to spend for a guy who is 30. Yes, he may pay for it on the back couple of years of that deal. But this is a team right now in Vegas that is still kind of built to win right now at this moment here in the next 3 years. They've made all the different trades, the signings. They've ballooned their cap hit now. They're right up against it as an expansion team. So, again, I think this really fits with the mold of what Vegas is going for. So I like the deal from them, and I think it was a benefit, too, just where they are compared to some of the other teams. Alex Pietrangelo now doesn't have to deal with that tax coming from the state. So obviously he's going to keep more of that $8.8 million than he would if he was to go into one of the other rumored locations like Calgary, Toronto. So I think this is a good deal for Vegas. It only helps to shore up the back end. Tough they did have to give up Nate Schmidt. I think he was a great part of that team. But again, I think obviously Pietrangelo is in a different class by himself, especially when you do look at recent free agent markets.
Vegas also had to give up Paul Stastny to clear up some cap room there. And I agree with you on both ends. If you look at it from Pietrangelo's side, he got the money he wanted for a fantastic defenseman. I think he was 4th place when you think of Norris voting this past season as well. He's got a Stanley Cup under his belt. That is, you know, priceless when you think about it. And then from Vegas, it's the exact piece they need. He can help bring Shea Theodore further along even. We saw him have an unbelievable playoffs. I think having Pietrangelo as a D pairing with him will just make him that much better. Another huge signing is former Edmonton Oiler Taylor Hall. Now quickly, Eric, 1 year, $8 million with the Buffalo Sabres. What do you think about that?
I think it's really a microcosm of the entire free agency, and when all these guys are making very team-sensible deals, I would say, and also possibly beneficial to the player in the long run. Again, obviously, it's very uncertain with COVID, so I do think that 1 year, $8 million is not a ton to pay on the Buffalo side of things. You get a chance to see if maybe he can make some magic with Jack Eichel, give this team an opportunity to win. And for Taylor Hall, maybe this gives him a springboard to get that long-term deal he's looking for as a guy who's maybe been a little up and down, I would say, over his career. He's had some really good years, some pretty average years, and has never been able to really lead that team to the promised land. So a good prove-it deal for both teams, I would say.
Yeah, Taylor Hall is 2 years removed from his MVP season with the New Jersey Devils. Eric, it's always a pleasure getting to chat with you.
For sure, thanks.
Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather forecast.
Thank Thanks very much, Jasmine. Look at temperatures right now, still sitting at that single-digit mark right now as we're just over that 5-degree mark there. 6 right now for us here in Lloydminster, as well as in Cold Lake, Athabasca, and Edmonton. We see zeros as we go down into southern areas of Alberta, like Rocky Mountain House, Jasper, and in Red Deer, as we see a lot of that snow could be accumulating, that rain-snow mix that could be making its way into our area, probably on the Friday. But Whitecourt also sitting at 5 degrees right now. As we look in Saskatchewan right now, 7 in both Prince Albert and North Battleford, with 9 in Saskatoon, and then 8 degrees out in Melfort. Now, as we look up north, they're seeing a lot of much more cooler temperatures than we are for right now, but 2 degrees in the Losh and Buffalo Narrows, 1 up in La Ronge. We see -1 in Wollaston Lake, and then -3 in Uranium City, as well as -2 in Stony Rapids to follow that. And then we got 4 degrees in Slave Lake, with 3 in Peace River, 5 in Grand Prairie, and then we also see -1 in Fort Chipewyan, with 1 degree in High Level right now. Now, as we look into southern Alberta and Saskatchewan, a little bit cooler, not more so in Lethbridge, where they're still sitting at 9 degrees, 6 degrees in Medicine Hat, 3 in Calgary, and then 1 degree out in Banff, and then 7 degrees down in Coronation. A little bit warmer in southern Saskatchewan as we look at Moose Jaw, sitting 11, along with 10 degrees in both Yorkton and in Regina. We see 12 in Estevan, and then 8 degrees in both Kindersley and in Swift Current as well. As we take a look across the rest of the country, we're one of the prairies are still getting a little bit cooler there. As we look at Winnipeg, also getting fairly cool, sitting at 12 degrees with some of the wind picking up there as well. We see 16 degrees in Toronto, a little bit warmer. We see 7 degrees, in Quebec City with some cloud coverage, 6 in St. John's, and then 11 degrees out in Halifax into the Maritimes. We also see 14 degrees out in Vancouver right now, some cloud coverage. We see very cold temperatures in Yellowknife at -3 right now, and Equality also sitting at -3. We also see 3 degrees right now up in Whitehorse, as well as Edmonton also sitting at 6, as I mentioned, following kind of similar paths that we are, with mostly some cloud coverage throughout the day. Now, this is what we could see for tomorrow. We're going to see still single digits, but we're going to get a little bit cooler, sitting at 4 degrees. We are going to have a fairly cooler morning, as we are going to be in those minus temperatures from here on out, starting into the morning. And also that wind chill could play a little factor as well, or it could be a lot cooler than it actually is. So 4 degrees our daytime high tomorrow here in Lloydminster, along with St. Paul, Bonnyville, and Cold Lake as well. 6 degrees out in Edmonton and down in Provost and Macklin as well. We also see 5 in North Battleford for tomorrow, 3 in St. Walburg, with 4 also in Green Lake and in Meadow Lake as well. 2 degrees for Isle La Crosse for tomorrow. And then we also see 3 degrees in Lac La Biche. So here's what we could see over the next couple of days. 3 degrees on Thursday, and we get a lot colder as we get into the weekend. So 2 degrees on Friday. There is a chance we could start seeing some of that rain-snow mix. There's about a 30% chance there, but it could possibly go up throughout the day there. And then we see on Saturday, Sunday, fairly cooler temperatures. So you can see -9 for both days there. So it's going to be fairly colder. Of course, we did see a little bit of snow over that past weekend in some areas in Alberta. We could see a little bit of flurries as well, continuing on from that Friday into Saturday. -2 on Sunday, and then we go back to positive temperatures on Monday, but still fairly cold at -10 to start the day. Then -3 on Tuesday to start off, and then 2 degrees the daytime high. But that's a look at your weather for now. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Welcome back, everybody. We're joined once again by Becca Lawrence from the Lloydminster and District SPCA. Becca, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
We're doing great, thank you. So who do we got here? We got another kitten this week by the looks of it.
Yeah, I did. I wore the wrong shirt today. The kitten matches with it today. This is Neptune. So he is the last, she's the last litter of her litter mates that were here at the SPCA. So she is the last one waiting for her forever home. And, but yeah, she's quite cuddly and affectionate. She's a little camera shy, I think, but so she's kind of a little bit all over the map wanting to get away, but she's normally quite affectionate, and she's just purring like crazy right now.
I was going to say, it looks like she does well with people by the looks of it, considering she's just curled right up with you there. So she seems to be pretty affectionate.
Yeah, she's very affectionate. The girl said that she's getting a little more needy now that her siblings are gone. So she needs someone that'll be good at cuddling.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. How is she with other animals? Like you mentioned that she had some siblings, so obviously she's been raised around other cats. So is she pretty good with them, or?
Yeah, I would say probably pretty good with cats. I mean, I think initially when cats meet, they're a little shy and hissy. But yeah, I think she would be fine. I think with dogs, she'd probably be a little bit nervous, obviously, especially if they're big dogs. But as long as they're nice to her, I'm sure she would warm up to them quite quickly.
Oh, beautiful. Good to hear. And so last week you had mentioned, again, that your cat numbers are a little high. So how are we doing for numbers right now? Have you guys managed to empty a few spots, or do you have more than you did last week?
Yeah, I think a few of our kittens that were over at PetSmart got adopted, so we might be taking this little one. She will probably be going over to PetSmart today. And, but yeah, mostly our kittens that we've kind of cleared out a little bit. And then, we got a few more in over the weekend as well. So it's one of those things where you adopt a few out and then another extra few come in. So yeah, as of right now, we are still full on our space.
Okay, well, if anybody out there is looking for a cat, no better time than today to go in and check out the selection they have at the SPCA. How are you guys doing for dog numbers? I know last week, again, you guys were actually running low on dogs, which is a good thing for you guys, right? Maybe not if you're looking for a dog, but certainly for the SPCA is good news. So how are you guys doing this week?
We're pretty full on dogs, too. We've seen a bit of an influx since we chatted last week, so that's a bit unfortunate on our end as well too. But we don't anticipate it'll take them too long to find their forever homes. Dogs always seem to fly out of here pretty quick.
Well, that's good, I suppose, to hear that. Hopefully they will be out soon. So again, anybody out there who is looking for a dog, certainly stop by the SPCA. Now, we were speaking about off camera, you guys have a Feline Frenzy event coming up, Becca. So why don't you tell me about that?
Yeah, it's become a bit of an annual event for us. Typically when fall hits, that's when we see another influx of kittens. And obviously it's not too hard for us to adopt out kittens, but the adult cats always seem to sit a little bit longer. So we'll be having our fall feline frenzy next week, so through the 19th to the 24th, so Monday to Saturday, and it'll be a wheel, so it'll be spin for a deal sort of thing. So you can come in and spin the wheel and get your cat at a discounted price. So I believe will be cats and kittens as well.
Well, that's good to hear. Certainly, if anybody out there is looking, for a kitten or an adult, surely stop on by. I know myself, I recently got a kitten, and I will say that, they are full of a lot of energy. So if anybody out there wants an adult cat, probably a little less work. I know my little kitten keeps me up at night and always has me running around the house. One other thing that we were speaking about, Becca, is you guys have a Halloween event coming up. So why don't you let us know what that entails?
Yeah, so we had some fun with some pun words with it, but so we called it the Ultimate Pumpkin Patch Match. So it's basically a pumpkin carving contest that we are having here. Obviously not here, we want everybody to send their pictures in of their animal-related pumpkin carvings, and they have a chance to win either a dog or cat-related gift basket. And then we also have a litter of kittens here that the winner will have the opportunity to name. So we hope it's pretty exciting, and we get a lot of applications in for it.
That is very exciting, Becca. I know I always love to hear the creative names that you guys come up with for the kittens. So that's wonderful. Yeah. Definitely, everybody out there, make sure you sign up for that. Well, that's all the time we have for this week, Becca. But once again, thank you for joining us. And everybody at home, if you want a little kitten, you want a little dog, surely stop on by the SPCA and definitely keep an eye out for their upcoming events. So once again, thank you for joining us, Becca, and we will see you again next week.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Manage your waste and recyclables with Quick Pick Waste Disposal. 100% locally owned and proud to serve and support the communities we call home. Quick Pick, the convenient solution to avoid pollution.
Today I'm joined with Christine Knorik. She joins me from Lloydminster and District Co-op. Thanks for taking some time to talk with me today, Christine.
Thanks so much, Jace.
So the big topic that we're going to be talking about today is the drive-through fall supper that's going to be happening on October 18th. Can you just take me through a little bit of the details?
You bet. So we were approached by some of our membership, and with all the COVID-19 restrictions and rules that are in place, the regulations that are in place, of course, people are really missing the social gatherings, and a lot of those are not possible right now. However, we did partner together with Synergy Credit Union and the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds to bring a drive-through fall supper to our community. So we're very, very excited to propose some sort of option. It's not the same as gathering in person, but at least it's something to look forward to for our community.
So the event's going to be happening on October 18th. How does it work with people driving in? How are they going to be able to get their supper?
You bet. So what we're asking is for anyone who's interested in attending the drive-through fall supper, please purchase your tickets in advance. So that can be done either through the phone or through the internet, through the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds website, or of course in person at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds office. So you'll purchase your tickets in advance, and you will purchase a pre-specified time slot. The event runs from 11 until 6 on Sunday, October 18th. And then you'll just drive right up and you'll have an individually packaged turkey supper that you can enjoy with whoever you designate.
So Lloydminster District Co-op as well as Synergy Credit Union are coming together as sponsors for this event. How important was it for Lloyd Co-op to get together with some local organizations to sponsor this event for the community?
Great question. Synergy Credit Union and Lloydminster District Co-op are both membership-based organizations. And one of the principles that we are founded on is concern for community. So it was an absolute slam dunk for us to partner together with another membership-based cooperative business, in this case, Synergy Credit Union, to bring some sort of normalcy to everyone's holiday season. Again, like I mentioned, fall supper season is such a special time of year for this region. We usually celebrate a great harvest season, which we're so thankful for. And as part of our cooperative principles and our cooperative values, we wanted to provide some sort of an option for everyone to get together.
And this is obviously one of the meal is made by the exhibition grounds, and we all know that they're very good at making some great food there. How is this organized? So like, did you guys reach out to LloydX? Was LloydX hoping to do this and you guys helped sponsor it?
Yeah, we actually approached the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds after the idea had come through one of our board members and said, hey, you guys are experts in the food industry. You've also done a number of these individually packaged, COVID safe events throughout the course of the year. Would you consider hosting a fall supper in a drive-through fashion? And they enthusiastically said yes. So we were very, very grateful for that because they are experts in that industry, that's for sure.
And I don't know if you're going to know this information, but do you know how many tickets have been sold or what kind of the reaction has been like from the community so far?
Yeah, we're very, very grateful for that so far. So as of today, Tuesday, the 13th, we've had over 130 tickets sold, which is fantastic. And we're expecting a lot more this week as people kind of edge towards Sunday, and last minute Lloydminster is still a thing here. So we think there will be a lot of interest and a lot of purchasing going on over the next few days as people make their plans.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today, Christine. October 18th is the day it's happening. Tickets can be bought through the Lloydminster Exhibition Center, online, or by phone, or even in person. Thanks so much for talking with me today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. We are going to get fairly cooler over the next couple of days here. So 4 degrees tomorrow to start the day off, but we are in those minuses now to start the mornings off for the foreseeable future here. And as we look at Thursday, 3 degrees with mostly sun and a few clouds there as a low of -4 to start the day there. 2 degrees on Friday there as we could see a possibility of a rain-snow mix. We are going to see that later today in some parts of Alberta and Saskatchewan as that current kind of makes its way across the country there, but we could be getting that rain-snow mix probably on that Friday, like I mentioned there. As we get into Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be fairly cooler, especially in the morning, as we see -9 on both Saturday and on Sunday, -10 on Monday there with -2 degrees for both those days, as well as 2 degrees. 2 degrees will be the high for Monday as well as on Tuesday.
Thanks for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.